Hello. I am going to talk about race. I am going to talk about a couple of things. This Robert Fuller situation. Suicide versus lynching. We don't have the facts. And remember, I always say, don't be emotional. And I still mean that here. If it's a suicide, and remember, as far as blacks go, we rate really low on suicide, and particularly suicide by hanging. That's when we do commit suicide. That ain't it. The statistics will say pills and things of that such. Hanging is not one of the ways that we decide to check off of this plane of existence historically. That's not our thing. But we don't have all the facts. So, and whether we had the facts, whether it was a suicide or whether it was a lynching, I would still impress or stress the need to guard your emotions. Worst case scenario, let's say it's a lynching. Worst case scenario, the information comes out and it's a lynching. Then that's a message. It's a message. It's a message to people who are brown who would, get up in arms and hit the streets. But it's a message also to white people, particularly the white people who are marching hand in hand or protesting hand in hand with brown people all over the country. And the message is, choose your side. White supremacy is dead. Those who would subscribe to it just aren't aware of it yet. Okay? COVID has been absent in the news until very, very recently. They're trying to drum it up. And I told you that part of the link they will make is all of these people hitting the streets and all of these riots and all these protests and all these people getting together, mask or no mask, not practicing social distancing. That's really the only avenue they can go with that. Okay. And regular people, and I use that term loosely, are not buying that. It's problematic for those who are behind this COVID thing. It's problematic for people who are involved in inciting brown versus white. Is that white people are hitting the streets with brown people? That's problematic for them. Proof that white supremacy has died. Just the white supremacists haven't realized that yet. You can expect to see situations to provoke civil and racial unrest. And me personally, I just choose to vibrate above that. I just do. I am not for protesting. I am for defending, what's mine. I don't attack anybody, but I am definitely for defending what's mine. I'm content to have my little fun on the weekends with friends and family and work hard and, continue to eat. But apparently, order needs to be restored out of chaos, and to get the kind of order that is desired by these fucktards, they have to ignite civil unrest. So Robert Fuller's family, I'm very sad for the loss of your son, whether suicide or whether lynching. I am. When things happen to people, let's get off Robert Fuller for a second. I'm more interested in how the family reacts than how you revolutionaries or protesters or even the whites who become protesters and lock arms in arms with the protesters react. I'm more interested in what the family does, okay? Because I'll never forget how, uh, some time ago, wasn't that long ago, when a young black male gets up and tells this lady in court, I want to give you a hug, I forgive you, I love you, and I want to give you a hug. Two perspectives. High perspective, oh, man, that's awesome, very forgiving. Not so high perspective, family got to check. Family got to check. So the family is, and I'm not talking about Robert Fuller's family. I'm talking about when incidents occur. The family forgives them. I'm not protesting. I wouldn't protest anyway. I'm more interested in how the family responds. Okay, Farrell for Chicago said it best. He said, you do something to one of his kids, somebody in his family's gonna take care of that. And that's how you move on that. If the family's not gonna fight for you, why should you go out there and get yourself arrested? Okay. The race thing is an old hat thing, man. It's a dying thing. It's a dying thing, and there are different levels that I can go into on that, but then I would get sort of R-rated, and then it's sort of kids watching. I mean, this is, and I want to keep it PG. It's a dying thing. Are you kidding me? There was a time, if you looked at a person with the wrong skin color, that could cause you major trouble. And today it's just so different. It's just so different. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. I'm saying the old white supremacy system that you all were taught in school and you all lived under, and to some degree myself, anybody with eyes to see can see that that's dying. It's a dying thing. Let it die as natural death. Let's get to the point where you guys can breathe and not be provoked. Not be provoked. Some people do the same job, 40 years and retire. Nothing wrong with that. Switching gears for a moment. I've never been one of those persons. I've done a lot of different jobs. And again, that's all related to Y disease. I wanted to know what it was like to be a fireman. I did that for a little bit. In 1995, I wanted to know what cops were actually, what was the thought process of being a police officer? You know what I mean? It's, up until, as a teenager, I've had guns pulled out on me by police officers. I just always wanted to know what the hell did they see that made them so nervous or whatever? What was their perspective? I really wanted to know why. So I got a degree in criminal justice, and for 6 years I was a police officer. I did that. Now, I learned a lot of things in those 6 years. And then I moved on and did other stuff. All right, so there's a lot of people with perspectives based on their work experience that they can speak on. It's just what it is. Let white supremacy have its death. So let it have its death. It's time. It's time. It's time. I think that's all I want to say about that. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good night.